Self-powering data centers. The next energy revolution. Executive summary. Data centers' soaring energy use is straining power grids and raising public anger over higher electricity bills. To ease dependence, operators may shift to self-powering systems using existing generators, on-site solar, and emerging sodium battery storage. Companies like Cummins, Siemens, and Generac stand to gain from this shift. As costs rise, homeowners may also adopt their own generation solutions, driving a broader move toward energy independence and decentralized power. Article 8. As artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and digital services expand at an unprecedented pace, the global demand for data center capacity has surged. Yet the power grid, already strained by aging infrastructure and electrification in other sectors, can't keep up. Rising electricity consumption from hyperscale facilities is creating new tension between technology firms and the communities that host them. Increasingly, citizens are angry that their own utility bills are climbing as they indirectly subsidize the massive energy appetites of data centers. To break this unsustainable dynamic, the industry is beginning to explore a new frontier: self-powering data centers, capable of generating most or all of their own electricity. The growing strain on the grid. Modern data centers are among the largest single consumers of electricity in the industrial world. Each hyperscale complex can draw tens or even hundreds of megawatts, comparable to a small city. According to the International Energy Agency, data centers, AI, and cryptocurrency mining together could double their global electricity use by 2026. Power utilities, already facing challenges from renewable intermittency and infrastructure limits, are struggling to meet these demands without passing costs onto other consumers. The result is public frustration. In many regions, residents see their utility bills rise not because they're using more power, but because local grids are being upgraded or overtaxed to accommodate data centers. These communities perceive themselves as footing the bill for tech giants' digital expansion. The backlash is prompting both regulators and corporations to rethink the energy model that underpins the digital economy, turning backup systems into primary power. Ironically, most data centers already have what they need to go off-grid, at least partially. Nearly all are equipped with large-scale diesel or natural gas generators, intended for emergency backup power during grid outages. Traditionally, these generators sit idle 99% of the time, representing stranded capital and a missed opportunity. A self-powering model would flip that logic. The backup systems would become the main energy source, while the grid would serve as secondary or supplemental support. Continuous duty generators, combined with advanced load management and battery storage, could provide reliable base power independent of the grid. The shift would not only relieve local infrastructure, but also open new pathways for energy innovation. Companies like Cummins, Siemens, and Generac, longtime leaders in industrial and residential generation, are poised to benefit. They are developing more efficient, lower-emission engines and hybrid systems that integrate seamlessly with batteries and renewables. What used to be emergency equipment could become the beating heart of an autonomous energy ecosystem. The role of renewable energy. Many operators have already begun incorporating on-site renewable energy, most commonly solar photovoltaic arrays. The combination of solar generation during daylight hours and dispatchable generators at night or during cloudy periods can dramatically reduce dependence on the grid. In regions with abundant sunlight or wind, data centers could even achieve net zero or net positive operation, exporting excess energy back to the community. Some facilities are experimenting with microgrids, localized, self-contained networks that balance generation, storage, and consumption dynamically. These microgrids can also enhance resilience, keeping operations running during regional blackouts. The economics of solar are improving, but the biggest limitation has always been storage. Until recently, lithium-ion batteries were the default option, but their cost, fire risk, and reliance on rare materials made them imperfect for large-scale industrial use. That's where the next wave of battery innovation comes in: sodium batteries and the storage revolution. New battery technologies, particularly sodium-ion chemistry, are reshaping the energy landscape. Sodium, one of the most abundant elements on Earth, offers a cheaper and more sustainable alternative to lithium. While sodium batteries have a slightly lower energy density, they excel in stationary applications like data centers, where volume and weight are less critical. Sodium-ion systems are also safer, less flammable, and capable of performing well in a wider range of temperatures. They could enable multi-hour or even multi-day energy storage without the cost premium of lithium. For a self-powered data center, that means the ability to run continuously on renewables for much longer stretches, reducing or eliminating the need for fossil backup. Manufacturers across Asia, Europe, and the US are racing to commercialize sodium-based storage. Once these technologies mature, pairing them with solar or wind installations could make true energy independence feasible for large computing campuses. Economic and environmental implications. A transition towards self-powered data centers carries profound implications for both economics and the environment. On one hand, it could de-stress public grids, freeing up capacity for residential and municipal needs. On the other, it could redefine the economics of data infrastructure, turning energy from a variable cost into a strategic asset. By generating their own power, data center operators gain price stability and operational control. They can shield themselves from volatile grid tariffs and potential political backlash. For host communities, the benefits include lower strain on local substations and fewer blackouts. However, there are challenges. Running on-site generators continuously raises questions about noise, emissions, and maintenance. Policymakers will need to develop updated standards for air quality and permitting. Some jurisdictions may even require proof of renewable integration to classify these systems as sustainable. Still, the balance of incentives is shifting. As grid electricity becomes more expensive and intermittent, energy independence is turning from luxury to necessity. Ripple effects from data centers to homes. Interestingly, the self-powering trend may not stop at industrial campuses. High electricity prices are already prompting homeowners to explore similar solutions: residential solar panels, battery walls, and backup generators. Just as data centers seek resilience and control, households want protection from rolling blackouts and escalating utility costs. Companies like Generac are at the forefront of this crossover, marketing compact generator battery hybrids that can keep entire homes powered for days. The rise of distributed generation could decentralize the grid itself, transforming millions of buildings into mini power plants. In that future, utilities become managers of energy flows rather than sole suppliers of power. This distributed approach mirrors the data center evolution, from centralized dependence to modular self-reliance. Both trends reflect a broader societal shift toward resilience, autonomy, and sustainability in the face of systemic strain. The path forward. The rise of AI and cloud computing is non-negotiable. Digital infrastructure is as essential to modern life as roads or hospitals. But powering that infrastructure sustainably is the next grand challenge. Self-powering data centers represent a bridge between today's fragile grid dependence and tomorrow's resilient future. In the short term, this transformation will favor hybrid systems that blend generator reliability with renewable input and next-generation storage. The leaders of this new era, both in technology and energy, will be those who see power not as an external utility, but as an integral component of the computing ecosystem. The public backlash over rising power bills is, in a sense, an early warning signal. Society is demanding balance between digital growth and shared resources. If data centers can shoulder their own energy burdens cleanly and efficiently, they could not only diffuse that tension, but also accelerate the transition to a smarter, more distributed energy world.